right, next one, Errol, we'll have you go to this one. I know you love Baker Mayfield, but his team lost 23-20 to the 49ers. 49ers almost kicked it away 3 times.
It wasn't Baker Mayfield's fault because Baker Mayfield still played well, and honestly, he has nobody to throw to. So I can't really hate the fact that the Buccaneers had a chance to win this game, and that speaks volume of what Baker Mayfield is as a quarterback. And again, you're going to say, well, 18 for 29, 116 yards and 1 touchdown. Well, Baker didn't really do anything. It's what Baker does as a leader. That's what stands out from the most. And even though the Buccaneers defense played very, very well, and you look at Brock Purdy's numbers, they're absolutely ridiculous. 25 for 36 and 353 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think that what stands out to me from both teams is pretty simple. Brock Purdy is always going to be looked at as the other guy, and Baker Mayfield is always going to be looked at as the first round draft pick that everybody is questioning. Is he worth that, that first round pick or not? And he's proven it this year that he has been. And even though the numbers don't show it in this game, I thought that the game was fun to watch. I thought there was a lot of craziness back and forth, but all in all, San Francisco is the better team. I mean, healthy with Christian McCaffrey. And Christian McCaffrey still has a long way going, but they're going to be in a good spot when he figures it out.
Nava?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's a huge aspect to what they're going to do. He's obviously going to have to get his legs under him and get everything ready. I was more interested in seeing Debo go after Moody after he missed 3 and then going at him, and then the long snapper comes over and has some words. And
that was embarrassing, by the way. That was very embarrassing to do something like that.
100%. I get where Debo's coming from. I get it. Like, don't do this. Like, I understand where he's coming from, but like, that's what we've said on this show before. It's like, man, that's an in-house thing. Like, don't do it. And I get in the heat of the moment. I understand that, but at the same point, it's like there's a time and a place for it. And it didn't make sense to do it at that point, because obviously it came into play where, all right, now you did what you did and he ended up winning you the game. So it was just one of those things where I was just like, there's a time and a place for that. You can't do it now.
It's fit.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah. All right, we'll give this one a
shout out, Speedy. Shout out before we move on. Ricky Pearsall scored a touchdown. After getting shot in the chest at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. That just want to make a note, shout out to that guy for coming back and playing pretty well.
He's going to be special, by the way.
What a story.
My dumbass left him on the bench.
All right, we'll go to this game for Nathan.
What an inspiring story, Ricky. Just kudos to him and shout out to him and his family, man. What a great story to see him back on the field, and a big win for them. They needed this win, and they've been having up and down seasons. So,
all right, next game we'll give this one to you, Nathan. The Pittsburgh Steelers beating
spin it out pretty quick.
Washington Commanders. Jets legend Mike Williams catching the winning touchdown.
Man, what a this was a crazy game, and what a game! And Steelers came back, and the Commanders could have won this game, but kudos to the Steelers for not giving up. And Russell Wilson looked good, and Mike Williams made a statement to the Jets with that touchdown and being with the new team. So there you go.
Russell Wilson looked good. Did you look at those numbers? He did not look good. He was not good. That's not why they won. Come on, Nathan. Did you watch the game?
Yes.
Come on, Nathan. I'm not stupid. I watched the game. It wasn't Russell Wilson. He made a couple of throws to Pickens. Pickens had a good day, but it wasn't because of Russell Wilson. I mean, the Steelers obviously got a running game from Jalen Warren, Najee Harris. They were running the ball all over the place. Even Cordell Patterson got a couple of touches in the game. That's why they won the game. And the defense. I mean, at the end of the game, what defense showed up? Pittsburgh defense showed up at the end of the game when you needed it the most. That's the fact.
All right, next game, the Vikings at the Jaguars, 12-7, the final on this one. Errol, what do you got?
I just answered. Give it to Joppa.
All right, we'll go to Joppa.
Yeah, it's surprising to me, like, how Justin Jefferson just get involved more. I mean, he was targeted 9 times. He had 5 for 48. And it was kind of an ugly game. I mean, another game that had 5 interceptions in it. And so, I mean, ETN and Aaron Jones had 17 for 88, and I mean his longest run was 13 yards, and so it was just a sloppy game all over. Definitely expected more from the Vikings for sure, but I mean, a win is a win at this point when you're getting
horrible Java. Oh my god!
I get it, and I go back and forth with one of my really good buddies, and his son and my son grew up together, and he's a huge Vikings fan, and it just it was sloppy all the way around, and I mean we saw it from the get-go. So, but at the end of the day, you got the W. So what else more can you say?
I will say this, and I know I've been a big Sam Darnold supporter. It's very Sam-like. If you look at his Carolina career, his first 4 games, he was unbelievable. And then after that, as the season progressively moves forward, he falls off. Sam Darnold's doing the same thing right now at Minnesota. His first 5-6 games, he looked so fantastic. He was an MVP candidate. His last 3 to 4 games, they're not good. I mean, 24 for 38, 241 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's not going to get it done. And if Minnesota wants to compete with Green Bay and obviously the Lions, they got to play harder than this. And by the way, I love seeing TJ Hawkinson back on the field. I'm very happy to see this kid come back. He looked really, really good. This is a weapon that Sam's going to be able to use. He's fun to watch. And Mac Jones, give me a break. There's nothing else to say about this.
All right, we'll start with Fish this time for the Chargers over the Titans 27-17.
You know, I'm glad I got this game because I wanted to talk real quickly about this stat line, which is the most ho-hum stat line you're going to see if you go through any box score, and why that's a good sign for the Chargers. Herbert, through 18 passes, was 14 of 18, had 32 rushing yards, rushing touchdown, passing touchdown. No receiver got more than or running back got more than 52 yards, spread it around, and they controlled the clock. Why do I like this? Well, it's because that's Jim Harbaugh football. And he's got them at 6-3 in his first year when they were garbage last year, got rid of their receivers in Allen and Williams, and look at them now. I didn't have anyone to give stats to put up there. Like Quentin Johnson had 20 yards. It doesn't matter. They're going to find ways to win football games in an unpretty way, and that's the Harbaugh way, and we know that works. So I'm very excited for, if I was a Chargers fan, which I don't think they have that many of them in LA, but I would, if I was on the fence, I would want to root for Harbaugh. I'll tell you that. I think Harbaugh is one of the best coaches around, and he's already working his magic.
Speedy, do you climb the fence?
I do not.
Have you ever climbed a fence?
Yes.
Okay. How big was the fence?
15 feet probably.
Wow, that's a pretty big fence.
All right. You have anything on this game? Titans Chargers?
I think he said it best. Let's go on to the next one.
All right, we have to go to this for Nathan. His Dallas Cowboys getting smoked 34-6 by the Philadelphia Eagles.
I got nothing to say. So just.
Do you want me to tell you? I can tell you what I saw. I saw a Cooper Rush who the Beeve absolutely has an orgasm when he's on the field, and then he got a chance to see Trey Lance a little bit. 4-6.
They wasted a fourth. First of all, you waste a 4th-round pick on Trey Lance. And then you waste a 4th-round pick on Jonathan Mingo. Who the hell?
Trey Lance, 4 for 6, 21 yards, and 1 touchdown. This guy's a 3rd-string quarterback making $5 million. You could have had Derrick Henry. How stupid can you be?
Jerry Jones is
dumb.
Who spends a 4th-round pick on Jonathan Mingo, who has no touchdowns yet in his career?
Did you just bring up Jonathan Mingo? You have a 3rd-string quarterback making $5 million, and you get a chance to see him. He stinks. But this, here's what stood out. It's pretty simple. Saquon Barkley, and then A.J. Brown. So that's pretty much it. I mean,
Speaking of stinks, the New York Jets, 31-6
you want me to give you
losers.
my take now?
Oh yeah.
Here-
Against Arizona.
Here's my take. I was sitting at Miller's house, enjoying watching this good-for-nothing, crappy, garbage, has-been organization that has absolutely no idea what they're doing. Oh, I'm sorry. It doesn't matter who the head coach is. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It doesn't matter who's running the ball. This team is an absolute joke. They stink. They're a stupid organization. They're going down in flames. Rebuild time, baby. We're going to see another 10-year span of garbage football. So bow down, Jet fans, because guess what? It doesn't matter what's going to happen in the offseason. Aaron Rodgers, no Aaron Rodgers. This team stinks. That's it.
All right, Nathan, you have thoughts of his team after he had thoughts of yours?
Same. It's I don't know, a horrible game for the Jets. That's it. What else can I
They
say?
didn't show up. Yeah, but you know it. They didn't show up.
Yeah, but it's crazy too. We talked about this last
Bring
week
Owen in.
too.
I got to hear it from Owen.
Oh, that's true. We do it.
Let's bring Owen in. I got to hear this from Owen. I got to hear his take on this. Come on. Bring him in, Speed. Bring him in. Go ahead.
What up? Yeah, I told Jabba that Arizona was going to wax the Jets before the game last week. I just don't believe in them at all. Aaron Rodgers has been, but brings the crowd in, I guess. So I kind of called that game. Told Jabba I didn't think it would be close, and I think he picked the Cardinals over last week. So kind of gave him some good
was right.
advice.
Yeah, had Cardinals under. He was right. Yeah, he was right.
So-
Jets didn't score anything.
Yep, Jets are trash. Sorry.
Man, thank you.
All right, Owen, since you're in now, we'll let you start with the Sunday night game.
I'm sorry if I don't. Owen, I'm a little out there. I lost you there, but don't worry. We're gonna have everything set up for you in the next week. We're very excited to get you on. So
All right,
Hey,
Owen,
you're
we'll
good.
let you start with the Sunday night game, an interception fest between the Lions and the Texans. We talked about Jared Goff at 5, CJ Stroud at 2, but the Lions come back and win, down 23-7.
Hey, I'm a big believer in the Lions. With Jared Goff having his worst game in a long, long while, the Lions figured out how to do it. They showed they could stop the Texans in the second half. It was kind of a crazy game to watch. CJ Stroud had the first half, Jared Goff had the second half. But they find a way to win, and they're going to continue to do that. I think they're going to take that division.
All right, Jabba, what do you got?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, obviously, I think it was a tale of two halves. Obviously, and seeing it in how Lions prevailed at the end of the. And I think obviously with Goff, they're on 5 interceptions, but at the same time, when you look at it, he had 3 receivers that he targeted about the same amount of times, and they all had around 60 yards. Like Laporte had 3 for 66. St. Brown was 6 for 60. Both had touchdowns. And then Jameson Williams was 3 for 53 and all targeted over 5 times. So I think I believe in the same thing that you said, is, he's got targets and, he's going to find a way to win. And they did that. I mean, that's why they're sitting at 8-1 right now.
All right, and the Monday night game, the Dolphins upsetting the Rams 23-12. Let's go to Fish for this one first.
Yeah, so I got a picture here of a failed celebration with Odell Beckham and Tyreek Hill, which is just hilarious that Tyreek Hill said he's never doing any more celebrations with him. It was his first touchdown since week 2. Really sad to see that's happened to the Dolphins without Tua. Tua's back. We talked about it earlier. Tua was fine. Tua's fine. He's got 28, 200 yards, touchdown pick, lost a fumble. The type of game you expect out of Tua, manages the game. They were basically ahead the whole time. Rams have their 2 receivers back, and Aaron Williams, good running back, just wasn't enough today. Wasn't enough. Good defense, but Dolphins have a lot of weapons when they're healthy, and they still have a shot. If they can keep it together to still be in that playoff hunt. They got 3 starting defenders back for this game, which is why I lost my bet, which I put on the Rams.
you should bet on sports. There you go. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. But I did well for the week. I was actually double my money this week.
There you go.
Well, and then Owen.
Bet on Tyrone Tracy.
Oh yeah,
Tyrone Tracy.
we were talking about it earlier when Jeff was talking about crying. He was crying on the bench when he fumbled that ball.
He was crying.
Yeah. It was pretty bad fumble. I mean, it was the first play of overtime and in your own zone, like, you know, the game's over. He also was partially responsible on the interception in the red zone earlier in the game. It was thrown to him, but it was, you know, back shoulder. It really wasn't a good ball. Surprise, surprise. But again, two plays that he's going to have nightmares about. And look, he's already a good player. Maybe this drives him to be a great player. So again, with Evan Neal now coming into his own, Tyrone Tracy, I mean, look, the 2025 future for the Giants, it's just looking up and up, guys. Just looking up and up.
Well, it can't look any worse.
The only thing I'm looking up is, you know, somebody's skirt.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
And by the way, Owen said, I was like, what just happened on that celebration? He was like, oh, it was a wrestling move. And I was like, I don't think it was a wrestling move.
It was terrible.
They played it off well.
It's as bad as, you know, Odell Beckham going into the end zone and lifting up his leg and pissing on something.
That was the worst of all of them. I was so mad when he did that. I was like, that's so freaking stupid. Like, I rooted for the guy. It's hard to root for a guy that does crap like that.